Let me just fix the stand. There we go, bro. How are ya? I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give you a roadmap on when nothing's working, on when you don't know what to do. This is what you do. But I want to show you something first. And this has nothing to do with the video. But I'm just feeling myself. Have a look at me. This is 58 kilos, bro. Insane, bro. That's insane. I'm very proud of myself because I used to be very fat and overweight, especially when I was younger. Anyway, I know what it's like to be a young man that just cannot seem to get it together. I've been there, bro. I'm 26 years old and I've had a crazy life. I've not flown around on private jets and I've not lived that extravaganza of a life, but I've lived a life of not feeling good about myself. I've lived a life where, I would start something, be really motivated for a day or two, then I'd just give up. I'd be that guy, and I've been him multiple stages of my life where I just hated myself. When I was younger, I had crippling self-identity issues. I'd look at myself, right, and I'd hate myself. I was 10 years old, fat, overweight Indian kid, yeah, sure. I mean, that's what I was. Had really bad teeth, growing up in a very Australian white neighborhood, so I didn't feel good. But you shouldn't be feeling like that as a kid. I used to look at myself in the mirror, I'd jolt, I'd do this. It was scary, and I say this a lot in my videos because it's true. It's not normal shit to be doing at 10 years old where I'd look at myself, right? I mean, I was insane. And that never left me in my life. I was able to become a little bit more confident as I got older. And I'm talking about 15, 16 years old, bro. I started using drugs heavily. And that was, it was a very fun but crazy period of my life. I grew up poor and in the ghetto, so that attributed to me not liking myself and hating myself. And then as I started to use drugs, I started to live that whole lifestyle. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of fun involved, but that life ruins you, and it ruined me. After 5 years of very heavy drug use, and I was a kid, 15 years old. Imagine what you were doing at 15. Bro, you're a kid. And when I got to this very low point in my life, and I picked myself up to build me into the young man that I am today. And it was a journey, and I've been through a lot, bro. I needed a formula. And I needed something that was a little bit more easier, or at least laid out in a better way, to instead of changing who I am, how do I shift who I am? And there's a difference. Because when we change ourselves, so many of us are that when we don't have the willpower and the discipline, and we haven't really done it before, and there's no really any roadmap, to change a bad habit is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Because it's all you know. And you don't kind of have a lot of I've done this before and I've changed this in my life and I've overcome this thing, so this is how you do it. We don't have any of that. So when I was trying to quit drugs, that was a whole nother story because I got to a point where it's I can't do this anymore. But then I found myself in my 20s, 20 years old, just sitting at home, scrolling, 16 hours screen time, jerking off all this fucking times per day, just doing nothing, just being a complete bum, a bad member for society in my own other way of just sitting at home being a no one. And I was a bad member of society way before that as well, just being an idiot on the streets. But there's a way that we can do this. Because when we want to change and we're not about it, it's too much. And then we go back to our old ways. And so many of you boys can probably relate, where you just go back to your old ways and it does your head in. But then there's a way that you can shift and change yourself into this, and it's actually by building up your identity. And I'm going to show you this because this is like no other video you've ever watched before. Understand that there's a very important question. You might have heard me ask you this in my previous videos, but I'm going to ask you this question again. What and who is and how... Fuck. Let me rewrite that. Okay? What's the best version of you? That's how we're going to put it. What's the best version of you? This is a really important thing. Of you. We're going to put 100% underneath this, right? So what's the most ideal, optimized 100% version of you? Because what I want you to understand is that he exists, but he's blocked. He's been blocked by the negative habits, by the limiting beliefs, by not being about it. The guy that we all know that we can be, he's been stolen away from us from the bad habits and what we've been doing and all of that. But there's a way to get it back and some, and there's a way to bring him out. And it's by asking yourself, okay, what would the best version of me have? And this is in a few areas of our lives, right? The most important things, because we all want the nice car and the nice house and all of this stuff. But there's a few things. the best version of yourself, how's his health? His health is on point, right? 100%. He's healthy. Because you're nothing without your health, right? Your relationships. And most of you boys are probably thinking, well, he's talking about girls. Which, yeah, I kind of am. But I'm also talking about your family. I'm also talking about your friends. Because relationships as a whole is what truly nourishes us. It builds us. You can have everything in the world, bro. But you don't have a good relationship with your family. Or you don't have a nice circle around you of a beautiful girl or good friends. Something's missing. And then the last, and I think it's one of the most important things as well, which is why I'm putting it here, is success. But we're going to look at it as money, and we're also going to look at it as wealth. Because those are two kind of different things. I mean, money, we know what that is. We need a lot of it, need to be free, we can do a lot with it. But wealth. And wealth is something that money can't buy. And I'm not talking about wealth, yeah, I've got this property and this property and this. I'm talking about wealth in your frame, in your knowledge, in your mind, in who you are. You can never put a price on a genuine wealthy man. A lot of men can truly become rich without money because of who they are. And I really want you to understand that. But we're going to open this up because this is going to change everything about you. So I want you to look at the ideal life that you would have, the best version of yourself, the relationships, the wealth, the health, and everything else, right? You want the materialistic stuff. What would the best version of you have, okay? Think about that. But then there's a formula to how we get there. And it's not by, boom, closing your eyes and saying, I'm going to have this, and hope one day it pops up on your doorstep. That ain't going to happen. Don't be an idiot. I want you to understand that our life is dependent on a few things. The most important thing, and I'm going to leave this at the top here, it's your identity. But how do you change or shift your identity? You can't just instantly do it, can you? I'll say this, and I'm one of the only few people that will say this. I believe that you can, but after a certain amount of experience. I do believe that. I believe that if you close your eyes and open your eyes, you can really, okay, I was in a bad mood, I can change my mood. That's how good, that's how I believe myself. If I feel a bit anxious, boom. Close my eyes, open it, boom, I'm out of it. But that takes time and it takes a certain type of man, and I'll help you become that in different videos. But let's open this up, okay? How do we get to the best, optimized, 100% version of you? The first thing is your actions. And I want you to look at that right now you are an accumulation of your actions. And I'm going to put this easy. If you're fat, that's because of your actions. If you're good looking, chiseled, that's because of your actions. If you're broke, that's because of your actions. If you're rich, that's because of your actions. If you work for it. And everything else, right? If you got this, you got this, you got this, or you don't have this, don't have that, it's because of your actions. If you're at this point of your life, your actions, good or bad. So the first thing that I want you to understand about your life is that you are an accumulation of your actions. And what you can do when you want to become the best optimized version of yourself is to change your actions. But changing your action isn't this one-time ordeal, right? To change your actions, I'm just going to put a number here. Let's go 100. Nice round number. You have to do something 100 times. You have to do it so much that it becomes okay, this is a part of me. I'm going to break this open a little bit more, but an action isn't one thing. Oh yeah, I go to the gym because you went once and then you gave up. It doesn't work like that. You got to build your actions, and to make an action truly solidified, which will amplify what an action is to do the action so many times, and then understand once you're trying to build yourself up to this guy, this new optimized version of yourself, the best version of yourself, it's to turn these actions into a habit. Because similar to actions, we are an accumulation of our habits. Our habits are the things that have fucked us. Our habits are the things that have got us to the point that we're at, where we've got anxiety, or we're overweight, or we're dead broke, or we're just not about it. There's no willpower, discipline in us, because most of the things that we do destroy our identity. They ruin us, bro. You're jerking off, doing drugs, wasting time, just scrolling, doing whatever you're doing, playing video games. It all ruins us. The things that we think make our lives easier and more fun are more or less the things that ruin us. If they're quick and easy, instant gratification, it's those shitty things that we feel, I feel good in the moment, that ruin us. So your habits are truly built on what it is that you're doing. If you want good habits, have good actions. So be going to the gym, be working on your business, be studying, be doing what it is that you need to do to level up. And once you do that enough, it's going to transform into a good habit. That's how you got to look at it. I want to build habits. Let me get my actions on point first. Let me do that action 100 times. Once your habits are on point and your habits align to this higher version of yourself, right? This is the 100% man, and this is the 0% version of you right now. I want you to understand that your habits alone aren't enough. You can have a good habit, but if there's no belief behind it, then you're also just, you're fucked. Because our belief is everything. There's a lot that goes into changing and shifting who we are. But your beliefs now mean the world to you. I was someone that didn't believe in anything. I didn't believe in anything that I could do this or that I could do this. I could like, what I said to myself was that I was never ever destined to be anyone. I can't do this. I will not have this. I will not have that. And you know what happened in my life? I always got what I expected. I failed that exam. I never got that girl. I never made that money. I never did anything because I believed it. Equally now, because I've been able to change my life and I believe myself so much, my belief to anything, I want this, I'll have it. This is a bit tricky. I'll figure it out. That's cool. Boom. I'm going to take that. Like, my belief is there. I can figure out I'm that guy. And how I got there, right, was getting my habits so on point. And then, right, with that belief that I now am thinking, because my habits, I've been on point with them, my belief in itself turns into this. It turns into two things. I'm going to say stories, but then also success. Because when you shift your body, right, and you change it, and you've been going to the gym, and now girls are noticing you, and you got that compliment from that guy, oh, bro, looking big, like you've been training. You'll have stories, you'll feel better, and that was going to reaffirm your beliefs that what it is that you're doing is working. There's proof in the pudding now because of these stories. So once you believe in yourself enough, you will see that stories and success comes from that. You've been training, got the six-pack coming out, boom, man. You've been working hard on your business, made your first dollar, made your first $100, made your first $1,000. Success, stories, and everything else that comes in your way. If you had a bad situation but you figured it out, that's a success story. If you had this happen and it didn't go to plan, but that's still a story there, but you were able to learn from that and change it up and now it is working. Stories and success will amplify and solidify that belief in you. So that's truly important. But now I want you to look at it like this. So the formula to shifting and changing truly who you are comes from this. Actions. Turn your actions into a habit. Turn your habits into now this belief system. Okay, I can do this. Solidify your belief system through stories, through success. And what will happen is your identity, you will see it, because it's an accumulation of these things, starts to change. You'll see it. When you start getting your body on point, you're going to feel better. Your identity of the bum that you were to the winner you're becoming is starting to change. And there's nothing else in this life that can give you a true, it's like hitting a nail into a piece of wood and you can't get that thing out, right? You will truly believe and feel that your identity has now shifted from the bum that you were to, like I said, the winner you're becoming. And that's a really important thing. And how I want you to look at it, right? Through this formula, because we know we want to make money, we want to be wealthy, we want to have our relationship on point, we want to be, living the 100%, the most optimized version of ourselves, the version that we have in here. How you get from this 0% man that you are today to here, it's not a straight route. It's not this, okay, yep, I'm 0% today, and okay, I'm going to be this 100% version of myself just like this. How you get from here is through, you're the 0% version of yourself now, and you have to go through all of the steps. Change your actions, change them into habits, believe yourself, fill yourself up with stories and success, and you'll see that this now, the version of you today, and the version that you will be in the future it'll be shortened alongside you'll have the direction and know-how of how to get closer to this man, the 100% version of yourself, through this formula. Actions, habits, beliefs, stories, shift your identity. That's it. Because when you believe in yourself enough, right? Oh, I'm a good looking guy because I'm shredded now. Or I'm making money, I'm a businessman. Or I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I'm this way, I'm this way, I'm this way. That will make you into a man, right? And you into a man that's getting closer to where he wants to be. And the more you stack up, right? More better habits, more momentum, more belief, more stories. It just keeps building and closing this gap to you becoming this guy. But that's how you do it. That's how you understand that change isn't just this instant thing when you're a new person to changing your life. It's this protocol of actions, habits, beliefs, stories, and then changing your idea. And your identity it'll shift into it. That's the thing. You'll shift into it through this, and it'll just radiate inside of you. And the more you do that, the more you keep improving then. This will shorten. and you'll see yourself being the best version of you. And the best version of you, right? He will have anything that he wants. So this is how you do it, bro. It's like, if I were to put it plain and simple, you're here today, 0, follow this, boom, that will eventually lead you to this guy. 100%. This version of you that I know that you can be. But if you overcomplicate it at the start or you get too overwhelmed, you have to break it open. And that's what I never was taught. And now looking back, if I had this formula, it'd be game over. So do what you will with this formula, bro, because this is how you do it. This is how, when you've got nothing, when you don't know what to do, this is how you figure out how to build yourself up, how to genuinely shift and change yourself. Love you, brother.